It's time to move on to Week 9.
And the kick is good.
And the celebration begins in the Queen City.
Before we jump into the Week 9 preview, let's take a quick glance back at the results from TPS versus the World in Week 8. The TPS score improved ever so slightly, but at least we nailed the lock of the week this time around. Both the Madden simulation and the World got back on track though, going 10-6 and 11-5 respectively. So that puts the season standings at Madden 61-61 and the World further its first place positioning with an overall record of 79-43. Once again, there were no exact score predictions, but since the World beat both the TPS pickers and the Madden simulation, there will be 2 prizes. Shout out to Chris Logan 787 who made the brave prediction that Russell Wilson and the Broncos would beat the Chiefs. Also, Phil Crawford 5437 who called that AJ Brown was going to set the record for most consecutive games with 125 plus yards. A big congratulations to our winners. But with that portion out of the way, let us move on to Week 9. And remember, if you want to be the next lucky winner to take home a prize, all you gotta do is 1. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. 2. Like this video. And 3. Comment below with a prediction for what the biggest blowout will be in Week 9. Alright, now that the housekeeping has been wrapped up, it's time to get into the action. Tennessee Titans versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Will Levis and a rejuvenated-looking Titans team are headed to the Steel City to face Mike Tomlin's crew that may be without its QB1 this week. The World wasn't fully sold on what Levis pulled off last week, but gives a slight edge to Tennessee with the Titans capturing 53% of the vote. The Madden simulation is also slightly favoring Tennessee, predicting a 31-28 victory for the Titans that is sealed by a late touchdown pass from the aforementioned Levis to Treylon Burks. Our experts are all in on Tennessee this week, predicting a 28-7 win for Vrabel and the boys. Miami Dolphins versus Kansas City Chiefs. After giving Bill Belichick and the Patriots a nice whomping, the Dolphins are headed out to Germany to square off with the Kansas City Chiefs. The public is riding with Tua and Tyreek in this one, with 63% of the community's votes coming in their favor. But the Madden sim skews in the other direction, as it showed a 17-16 Chiefs win that was stolen late by KC. It started with yet another Mahomes-Kelsey connection, and a more surprising one to Kadarius Toney, followed by a Harrison Bunker game-winning field goal. Well, the TPS experts are riding with the machine on this one, predicting that the Chiefs get back on track. Final prediction, Kansas City 31, Miami 27. Minnesota Vikings versus Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are set to host the Minnesota Vikings in a matchup of 2 teams that are very much in flux. The Falcons have found themselves in a bit of a quarterback controversy, with Taylor Heineke outplaying Desmond Ridder by a significant measure last week. And the Vikings are still in shock from a devastating injury to Kirk Cousins. The voters think that Minnie gets it done, with 56% of the votes backing the Vikes. But the Madden sim thinks that Atlanta wins this one 28-21. On 4th and goal, Jaron Hall nearly finds Jordan Addison for a potential game-tying touchdown, but he's taken down just short of the end zone. Well, our pickers are rolling hot Atlanta in this one. The Falcons defense will carry the load against a banged-up Minnesota offense and win 16-13. Chicago Bears versus New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are coming off a big win over the Colts and looking to take care of business at home against a weak Chicago Bears team. The world is all over New Orleans in this one, to the tune of an 85-15% split. The Madden sim is also aligned with this, predicting a 27-7 win for the Saints. And yeah, our experts are in consensus here, after liking what they saw out of Derek Carr in that offense last week against Indy. Having an Alvin Kamara back and running at full strength has really seemed to open things up for that unit. Chicago simply won't be able to keep pace, and New Orleans cruises to a 38-10 win. Los Angeles Rams versus Green Bay Packers. Los Angeles Rams are reeling right now and will be looking to get back on track in Lambeau against a dysfunctional Packers team. 83% of the voters are taking LA in this one, though I doubt that very many of them will even bother to watch it, considering it'll likely be a snooze fest. The Madden sim, on the other hand, actually thinks that Jordan Love actually finds a way to get the W at home 24-14. Yeah, our experts are with the world on this one. Stafford outduels Love in a low-scoring affair, 18-14, as we all take a nice afternoon nap. Washington Commanders versus New England Patriots. Mac Jones and the New England Patriots are set to welcome Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders to town in a matchup of 2 teams that have to be desperate for a win at this point. 75% of the public voted that Washington will take care of business against what has been one of the worst teams in the league all year long. And yeah, the machine is in agreement, as the Madden simulation predicts a 24-17 win for the Commanders. And yep, the TPS pickers tend to agree on this one. The Commanders march into Gillette Stadium and take care of business, winning this one by a final score of 27-20 and stomping on the grave of the New England season. Seattle Seahawks versus Baltimore Ravens. Few teams have been playing as good a football as the Baltimore Ravens as of late, and they look to continue that at home this week as they welcome Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks to the Charm City. The world is pretty sure that Lamar Jackson and that high-powered offense managed to take care of business, as 72% of the votes are backing Baltimore here. Madden is in lockstep on this one, predicting a 17-10 win for the Ravens that comes to an underwhelming end when Geno Smith attempts to end the game on a pointless 2-yard completion to Jackson Smith-Njigba from the Baltimore 23 with time expiring. The TPS experts also agree that Baltimore will be just too much for Pete Carroll's Seahawks in this one, as Seattle has been plagued by turnovers as of late. Baltimore stays hot and wins this one by a final score of 31-21. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Houston Texans. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are set to try and pick themselves up by their bootstraps and ship out to Houston to face a Texans team that just stumbled off its bye against a meager Panthers side. The community is relatively split on this one, but slightly favoring Houston to win this, with 56% of the votes backing the Texans. The Madden sim is on the other side of the fence here, predicting a 19-16 win for Tampa Bay. In this iteration, the Bucs score late on a 15-yard touchdown run by Rashad Wright, and end up getting the 2-point conversion to Chris Godwin. But Houston does have the time to try and tie it or even win, only to have Antoine Winfield Jr. pick off their rookie quarterback CJ Stroud. Well, our pickers are siding with the machine on this one. Tampa Bay will manage to get back on track and back into the mix in a weak NFC South by winning this one 22-17. Arizona Cardinals versus Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns need to get back in the win column at home this week after a tough road loss to the Seahawks in Week 8. Well, the world's voters are all over the Browns in this one. In fact, we saw nearly 90% of the votes come in their favor, and that is despite their challenges at the quarterback position. The Madden sim thinks that Arizona manages to pull off the upset and snags its second win of the season, beating the Browns by a final score of 34-14. Our pickers, on the other hand, don't think that there will be that many points scored in this one. Cleveland will dominate the game on the defensive side of the ball, likely thanks to some epic plays from Myles Garrett, who has been an absolute force to be reckoned with throughout this entire year. Final prediction: Cleveland 16, Arizona 7. Indianapolis Colts versus Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers finally got their first win of the season and are now ready to host Gardner Minshew in the Indianapolis Colts. A surprisingly large 83% of the community thinks that Indy knocks off the Panthers at home. The Madden sim agrees as well, predicting a crazy 30-27 Colts win that finishes with an Isaiah McKenzie walk-off kickoff return for a touchdown.
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. Well, now how about this return? He's to midfield. Isaiah McKenzie. And he's going to take it all the way into the end zone. What a return, and they've taken the lead.
Going against the flow here, our TPS experts think that the Panthers get W number 2, taking this one 26-20. New York Giants versus Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders are fresh off their Monday Night Football shellacking and set to welcome another one of the NFL's bottom feeders, the Giants, to Sin City. 71% of the world believes that the Raiders get it done at home, but the Madden sim believes that the Giants will win this one in dramatic fashion. Giants kicker Graham Gano makes the clutch field goal to force overtime, and on the first play, all the drama is then zapped out of the stadium by an epic Saquon Barkley juke and a subsequent 76-yard game-winning touchdown run. Our experts don't think that the Giants have what it takes, though, as we see the Raiders managing to eke out a win 21-13. Dallas Cowboys versus Philadelphia Eagles. Lock of the week. It's time for another rousing NFC East showdown between the visiting Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles. The community thinks that Philly has the edge in this one, as 77% of the voters came in their favor. But somehow, the Madden sim is predicting a tight Dallas win, 23-20. Yeah, our pickers are in lockstep with the world. The Eagles are a significantly better team than Jerry's group. Philly cruises to an easy 41-20 win here. Buffalo Bills versus Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are rolling as of late and set to host a Buffalo Bills team in a matchup of two preseason AFC favorites. The world has liked what it's seen out of Joe Burrow as of late and is backing Cincy by a decent margin, 65% to 35% for Buffalo. The Madden sim seems to agree, previewing a 24-10 win for the Bengals. And yeah, our experts tend to agree here. We see a high-scoring affair that Cincy steals late, 35-31. Los Angeles Chargers versus New York Jets. Fresh off their barn burner of a win against the Giants, the Jets are set to host a Chargers team that dismantled the Bears on Sunday Night Football. The world is high on Justin Herbert and the Bolts this week, with 69% of the votes coming in their favor, as is the Madden sim, which predicted a 31-24 win for Los Angeles on the strength of a late 2-yard touchdown run for Austin Eckler. Our pickers are zigging on this one, though. There's just something about this Jets team, and, well, LA has more holes than the public cares to really admit. We see the Jets winning this one with relative ease in one of their better offensive performances of the year, 28-14. So, there you have it. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, then add your own bold prediction down below for a chance to win some awesome prizes. And be sure to vote on next week's game starting Sunday night in our community section. Then, tune in next week to see if you won.